What's up, you guys? It's JCARDENASART, so welcome to one of my YouTube videos. If you're coming directly from this video, you'll know exactly what's going on this side. But just in case, what happened is that I did buy this big chunk of wood, and on this side I drew Spider-Man. I'm gonna go cut it out, and I have to go do that at my parents' house because I don't have the place to do it here. So I decided midway through painting this that I'd rather just paint something else on this side as well, and then just go cut both designs at once instead of hauling the big chunk of wood back and forth 3 or 4 times. So I'm gonna be doing that. Midway through this painting, I thought about doing Spider-Man in a different position, and then I remembered that there's multiple Spider-Mans. Duh! Right? So I decided to do Miles Morales on this side, and that's probably one of the reasons why you clicked this video. So I'm gonna go paint that, and then I'm gonna take both of these guys to my parents and cut it. In this video, you're not gonna see me cut this one. If you wanna see the process of this video and when I cut it and any final details that I do on it, you gotta go click on the other one. This video is going to be strictly for Miles Morales, and you're not going to see me cut this guy out. I'm going to have it already cut so that it's just focused on the Miles Morales cutout. But yeah, let's get started. So the very first thing I'm doing is sketching out Miles, doing it straight onto the wood with paint. I was debating on doing the mask off or mask on, but I really like Miles Morales with his mask on, so mask on. I'm doing the spider sense lightning bolts thingy over him, just like I did with the previous Spider-Man cutout. Once I finish sketching, the next step is to block in with the base color. I really like his green and red hoodie, so I'm for sure painting that in. I'm going to be using black for the mask. I'll lighten it up with lighter shades of gray and stuff later on. I'm going to add white for the eyes and yellow for the spider senses lightning bolts. I'm just going to call them lightning bolts from now on. And to start, for the background, a basic blue. I really liked Into the Spider-Verse. I have not seen the new one yet. Please, no spoilers. I'll get to it soon. But I really love the first one, and the vivid colors in that movie are perfect. So for the background, I thought of adding as many of those colors as possible. I'll start with the darker shades of those colors first, and then as I progress into the painting, I'll get lighter. The yellow on the lightning bolts is a bit transparent, so I had to do multiple layers, and as I applied them, I shaped the bolts to how I actually wanted them and sharpened the edges. I take the same approach I do with every other painting. I block in, layer with different shades, and use different brushes and such. This all creates depth. And as I'm doing this, I tighten up the shapes and I adjust the colors, and I just get the whole form and composition down as best as I possibly can. Working dark to light is the best way to achieve that. Being patient and letting the colors and brushstrokes do their thing. I don't like to overthink it too much because then I overwork it and it just becomes a big old blob of paint in my eyes, and I end up not liking it. And trust me, you have no idea how many pieces of art I have stopped working on, thrown away, or redone simply because I'm overthinking it and I'm not just having fun with it. By the way, if you're interested in the materials I use, there will be affiliate links to Blick art materials in the description of the video. Make sure you check those out. Any purchase you make through here, I will receive a small commission at no extra cost to you. In this video, I'm using different brushes than I normally use. These have a much harder bristle or hair, depending on whatever you want to call it. It's always good to play around with different materials. You would be very surprised at what you end up liking. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. I'm here to help and inform and just have fun with art and kind of just entertain you guys. So don't be afraid to ask. Normally, I would be able to tell you what part of the painting was very difficult or what part of the painting I didn't like doing, but this time around, I enjoyed every single part about this painting. The colors, the way I used the brush strokes,
the whole thing was pretty fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I can't really tell you what I didn't like. For the lines on Miles' mask, I used a gray Posca paint marker. I had to take my time and make sure I didn't mess those up because I did not want to have to paint over it with a black again. After I got the gray lines down, I went back in with a red Posca paint marker and applied it to some of the lines, because if you search it up, depending on which version of the Spider-Man suit you're looking at, it could be red or it could be gray. So since I couldn't make up my mind, why not both, right? And then I went in with a black Posca paint marker and I touched up all the edges, adding small random outlines here and there, trying to get that comic book feel.
Alright, so it's the very next day. I worked on this late into the night. I was just too tired to film this part, so it's a new day. Weather looks decent. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to cut this out. Any final details I need to put on it, I will do it after. Yeah. Let's go.
If you saw the previous video, you know how damn hot it was. I'll skip all of that in this video. I don't want to bore you with that, but yeah. The cutting out on this piece was very cool. I had a lot of brush strokes to cut around. I had to pick and choose which brush strokes specifically I liked best to follow. Also, I would like to take a second and have a moment of silence for this beautiful table that I've used for so many art projects. Unfortunately, it was used for something else that it wasn't meant to be used for, and it is broken. So this is the last video it will be featured in. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. There was a lot more dips and curves in this piece compared to the other Spider-Man cutout, so I had to take my time, which took a lot longer than I expected thanks to how hot it was. But wait, no, I said I wasn't going to talk about how hot it was, so let's move on.
Alright, so I'm back in the studio. So far, so good. It's coming out awesome. I love the colors. It's already cut. It's ready to go. The only thing left to do is touch up the paint in some spots, paint the edges black, and then add a hook on the back so that it can be hung. So I'm going to be doing that.
Laying the piece on the table and working on it in the studio was very nice and relaxing. Seeing it cut out really makes it stand out. I'm going back into the piece and adding in highlights to make the colors pop. Add more vibrant colors, lighter pinks, lighter purples, lighter blues, just making everything a bit lighter. Adding whites here and there to make everything really pop. Some dust and some parts got a little chipped, so I had to redo those spots. I had to clean that off. I had to retouch some of those areas as well. And to do all those little touches and final details, I'll be using a much smaller brush, one of the Princeton Select brushes. I'll have that in the description below, so go check that out. I've mentioned before in previous videos that it's always best to have multiple brushes. I've used about, I think, 4 different brushes in this piece alone. For the edges, like I said, I'll paint them black, and just like the previous video, I was way too lazy to apply gesso, so I had to give it multiple coats, but at the end, it looks awesome. And on the back, a D-ring hook so that this beautiful piece can be hung. And that's about it. Are you guys ready for some final detailed shots? Let's go.
And there you guys go. It's done. It's cut out. It's painted. It's got the hook in the back. This thing's ready to go, ready to get hung. I love it. I love the colors. I'm loving the technique that I'm using to cut into the wood following the brush strokes. I love it even more now. I loved it with the last Spider-Man one, but this one is just, there's just so much more going on, and it just makes it much more interesting with the brush strokes cut out. And yeah, I'm loving it. I hope you guys liked it too. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check this out on my website if you want it. Check out my other videos. If you have any ideas of what you'd like to see, drop it in the comments. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next videos. I'm excited for the next wood cutouts. I'm already planning for more. So I'll see you guys soon.